There we go. I can't hear that song anymore without immediately thinking of Austin Powers. Just the two of us. That was the second one, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, because that's when they introduced
mini
Mimi.
me.
Yeah. I've been itching to watch those again. I need to go back and I have the whole I bought the set like on Blu-ray for like $8 a while back.
They keep popping up on Twitter for random reasons,
Hmm.
like just quotes or people saying, "God, these were good movies."
Yeah. Like they're pop culturally, they're obviously dated, but they're a good dated. Like it still works.
Yeah,
Yeah. They're still classics.
I mean, they're movies set in the early 2000s about a guy from the 60s.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Oh, that uh yeah, there's gonna be some news tonight that is sort of relevant to that.
okay.
Yeah, anyway. Let me pull up my notes here. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, ready when you are.
You can do it. Dun, 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 dun. All right.
Honestly, other than the massive flurry of rumors that have suddenly been coming out, it was a slow like 2 weeks.
I ended up finding a few things actually. I had what I my common practice is now when I'm just scrolling the geek headlines throughout the week. I will just open up 100 Google tabs on my phone, and they'll just stay there for the whole 2 weeks until I finally start putting them all in like a Gmail draft just to organize all my notes and thoughts and shit. So there's quite a bit. I mean, I try to get more relevant news and not like old shit. But I mean, we're doing these, 2 weeks at a time now. So
Yeah.
anyway, it is Sunday night, and this is a good old classic getting off topic podcast.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
Sunday, Truckosaurus at Springfield Speedway. Be there. This is Tony.
This is Todd.
And I did hit record, didn't I? Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
Okay.
you did.
All right. Let's start this party right. Yeah. um, Todd, how the hell are you? What have you been doing for 2 weeks?
I have been doing nothing and loving it, and I'm going to continue to do nothing, even more nothing, the nothinger.
Nothing, nothinger.
I'm
Oh
on
yeah.
vacation for 2 solid weeks, and I
Oh,
plan to do jack shit.
those are the best. I was literally just talking. Meg and I were just talking about. I've been seeing a meme or a quote that's been passed around. It's been passed around for ages, but it came up again recently. Was that um, like how loneliness is addicting? Like once you like detach from the world and you don't have to constantly deal with people, it's kind of addicting, and you love being just home alone by yourself.
Yep,
Right?
that's my entire life.
Maybe extroverted people are like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like, I can't. I'm going crazy at home. But yeah, it is alarming how much that Meg and I both enjoy just absolute nothing time.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, I've been well. What are you doing? What have you been playing, watching? What's on the plate? What's on the
I
menu?
have been watching a ton of random shit. Just my TV has been on more in the last 2 or 3 weeks than I think it has been on in the past 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
So I finished watching Fear the Walking Dead, so I'm all caught
Yes.
up with that.
Yeah.
Eventually, probably when the entire thing is done, I might catch up with the original show, but that's on the back burner.
I
I
I did catch. Oh, sorry, not to cut you off,
Go
but
ahead.
but that's exactly what I'm doing. But quick side note. That's what I have been watching. I've actually caught up with the latest half of the season or whatever, and it is I'm very intrigued by it now because what we've talked about before, how they're coalescing all the storylines together.
Mhm.
So that's all I can say without spoiling anything, but carry on.
Let's see what else. I started watching the Walker reboot TV show. it's a generic like procedural set in Texas. Like they
Mm,
didn't even have to call it Walker, and there would be no differences. Like
mm.
there is nothing that ties it to the original show. In fact, most disappointingly, I'm like 10 episodes in, hasn't been a single roundhouse kick. Not a single one.
Nary a one. Nary a roundhouse.
Uh yeah, so that's kind of disappointing, but on the whole the show is it's okay. It's a procedural. Like it's a network procedural. There's nothing special about it. So it's good to background watch, I would say.
I know,
Uh
I know over the years you have gushed over Hawaii Five O. That was your jam. Is
yeah.
that is that your bar where where you put Walker is not quite there yet?
Yes, exactly. So Hawaii Five-O is that perfect blend of visuals. It's set in Hawaii. It's set in stunning locations, so it's always great to look at. And the people, the actors and actresses on it are generally good-looking people. So like it's always good background TV. So you always have something to glance over at. Um, the procedurals, like the day-to-day, like individual crimes you get per episode, they're fun and interesting, and they're not too outlandish. Like, okay, they detonate a nuke once, so that is kind of outlandish. They detonate
Every
a
show
nuke.
has to do it.
Yeah,
Every if like actual history followed every like run of the mill police procedural show, there would have been so many nukes dropped on US soil by this time.
we'd be literally living in Fallout at this point.
Yep.
And then the overarching story, the thread that connects like things together is pretty engaging and good. Like there's not it's not too convoluted and so full of twists and turns and stuff that it's
Mhm.
hard to keep track of, or it's not too like weak on that side that you lose interest in it. So
Yeah, the procedurals, you've got character arcs that maybe follow you for a season or but that there's nothing you still have to in a way make things neat and tidy at the end of every hour.
exactly.
Mm.
They end on enough. There's a little bit more interconnecting than your typical procedural. There are definitely story arcs that go over multiple seasons, but if you miss one episode here or there, you don't miss much. Like it'll catch you up, and it's got that typical um, catch up scene at the beginning if there's any specific ties you need to call back to.
Yeah. Kind of same with 911, which we finally got you hooked on.
Yeah, I finished that a couple months ago, and I actually watched Lone Star, the Texas version of it, which
Yeah, we haven't even started that.
it's a good show. It's not as good as the original.
Okay. Right.
It's got some pros and cons, but I don't think it's as good as the original.
All right.
I've been seeing a lot of commercials for Tacoma FD, which is a comedy procedural from the guys that did Super Troopers.
Oh,
So like half the cast of Super Troopers is in that. So I
wow.
need to start watching that.
Interesting.
But it's on some random network in like the upper cables that I don't know, like True TV, I think it's called.
Uh, Whoever dared to give them a budget.
Yeah, pretty much. And by the sounds of it, there's probably not much of a budget, but that's Super Troopers for you.
Uh-huh. Yeah. All right.
What else? I've rewatched Band of Brothers for the first time in like 10 years. I think this is the 20-year anniversary. So
Yeah.
it's been all over like recommended feeds and stuff.
Yeah. So you have that music in your head forever,
Hmm.
and you get to play the who's who game. The like, oh, hey, that random person.
Jesus Christ, I like when I first watched it, I didn't recognize any faces. Like maybe one or two from like Saving Private Ryan or previous like genre films or something like that. But like watching it now, there's so many fucking faces in it that you
Mm.
recognize from the last 20 years, like Simon Pegg, Michael Fassbender, Obviously, Ron Livingston.
Yes, of course. I am in that program.
uh, Captain, and then Colonel Winters. What's his name? I can't remember the actor's name.
Hmm.
The main character. Uh, he played in Billions. You probably haven't seen that, but he's been in a bunch of other stuff.
Uh,
Fucking
uh,
Abraham from The Walking Dead was in it.
oh shit.
Uh,
Michael Cudlitz. Yeah.
yeah, Michael Cudlitz.
All right.
Just
Isn't well, we had this conversation the other day. I forget if it's Band of Brothers or The Pacific with Joseph Mazzello, the kid from Jurassic Park.
I think he was in the Pacific.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember him in the Band of Brothers, but then again, he could have been in Band of Brothers. I wouldn't recognize what he looks like as an adult. So, but
Yeah,
there's just a ton of fucking faces in Band of Brothers. Let me pull up the cast list.
Oh yeah, it was the Pacific. He was in the Pacific.
Fucking so the name was Damian Lewis. Damian Lewis is the guy that played the main character. Tom Hardy was in it. In fact, I think this was Tom Hardy's first like credited role.
Oh shit.
Jimmy Fallon had a cameo or a brief appearance in it. There was obviously David Schwimmer. We had Neil McDonough.
Nice.
What's his
Dum
name
Duggan.
from Era? Dum Dum Duggan, but also from Darko from
Damien Dark. Yeah.
Damien Dark.
A lot of D names for him.
Yeah. Colin Hanks. Tom Hanks is his brother. Yeah, his brother, I think.
Colin Hanks? No, that's his son.
That is his son? I thought his son was somebody else. So.
He has a couple. Yeah.
Okay.
Colin Hanks is the older son. He was also the bad guy in one of the later seasons of Dexter, if I remember right.
Yeah. He looks like he could play a convincing psychopath.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's got Tom Hanks' look without the jolly old fellow kind of look to him.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a weird uncanny valley. Like you're trying to pass off as one of America's like great sweethearts, but you're the great value brand.
Great value, Hanks.
Yeah, you're not you're Mr. Pibb, not or you're Dr. Thunder, not quite Dr.
Pepper. The one time I enjoyed a Wahlberg performance, but this is Donnie Wahlberg. I think this was his breakout role.
Right. Yeah.
Let's see. Scott Grimes, our beloved pilot of the Orville.
Yes.
Awesome. We had Ross McCall. I recognize his face from
Ross Marquand.
No, Ross McCall.
Oh.
I recognize his face from like a dozen things, but I just can't place it. Oh, James McAvoy was in this fucking thing. James Matteo is a character actor from like the late 90s, early 2000s. He was in this.
Okay, we don't have to go through all 2,000 people that were in Panda.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, this was like the start of a ton of fucking careers.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, we've got a bit of news cover. We should probably get going, but
sure.
Although I do appreciate that lately you've been sending me those screenshots, playing like name that movie.
Oh yeah. The single frame challenge.
Yeah. So yes, Todd has been sending me, usually while you're watching some random late night, like just a movie on TV randomly. And the one you sent the other night was, I mean, the first one was super easy for any 80s child, was the Dylan, you son of a bitch. That screen grab of like the two
epic handshake.
Yeah, the two meaty arms. Yeah, just struggling at it. That was of course Predator. But the one that I was even impressed by myself a little bit was just some random screen grab of some chase scene with old-fashioned yellow cab, like flying through the air, like catching a little bit of air. Mm-hmm. And immediately my brain just went, Die Hard with a Vengeance. He said, "Yep." But to be
I
fair,
tr-
though, I kind of cheated because I knew it was in circulation because I had caught bits of it a few nights prior.
mm,
I kind of fell asleep to it the other night and reminded myself, "God damn, this movie's so good."
I wanted to get a shot that if you had seen it recently, you would recognize it, but something that wasn't too obvious, like the first one, I knew you were gonna get that in a second
Oh, I know every
because
frame of the first Die Hard movie.
yeah. Well, no, I'm talking about the epic handshake one. I knew you were gonna get that in a second, just because those two meaty arms, for fuck's sake, it's iconic.
Yeah,
But I wanted to get something from Die Hard that you wouldn't catch immediately, but you would probably recognize. Because if I put Sam Jackson, or if I put fucking, yeah, you would have got it
yeah,
instantly.
game over. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so, yeah. I was kind of like, okay. Well, my mind immediately was like, okay, this is clearly a chase scene. It looks a little older, so like 90s ish, or even earlier than that, that style of cab. So, and then the first guess was Die Hard with a Vengeance because it was on my mind. But it could have very easily been a ton of movies similar, chase scene in New York or something like that.
Hmm.
Uh, anyway, but yeah, that is definitely the. Well, we already had that conversation about Die Hard 1 and 3, the pinnacles of that franchise, and then the franchise ended.
Yeah.
Nothing happened after that.
Nothing ever came from that.
Yeah. Although Live Free or Die Hard is not terrible.
It
Yeah, it
has moments.
has moments. Justin Long is good. Oliphant is, as much as I enjoy Oliphant, his douchey bad guy is kind of lame, I think, but he did the best he could.
Maggie
Yeah.
Q was fine in it too.
Oh yeah, she was right. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. What the hell have I been doing this week? Well, like you have been getting back to TV. I have shockingly finally gotten back to gaming. I finally finished Doom Eternal. Putting all
Yay! Wah, wah, wah.
everything. Yeah, it took me entirely way too damn long. And immediately I dove into Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which is the third of the rebooted trilogy.
So how are you enjoying that film?
I am loving the crap out of it. I am loving the crap out of that motion picture. I get it. It's not for everybody. The stuff like that and Uncharted, you walk 10 paces and then you get a cutscene. Although for me, it's different because where other people might run through the game and they'll experience that. Well, I barely did anything, and then boom, more story, more story, more story. With me, I dwell in these games because I love, you drop me as Laura Croft in the middle of the jungle, and immediately I'm looking for all of the collectibles and upgrades and all this stuff because there's a whole crafting system and weapon upgrades, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I get a lot more time out of it before I hit the next story beat. And honestly, I spend way too much time, like hours at a time, scouring the land and doing all the challenge tombs, whatever. Then I finally get back to the story, and I was like, "Wait, what the hell was happening again? Who are we after?" But yeah, let's see. I've been doing that. My friend Josh just texted me earlier tonight, just a couple hours ago, and all he sent was the opening title screen, menu screen for Metroid Dread. He's like, "You got it yet?" I was like, "God damn it, no!" I'm so jealous. I mean, he's playing it on the original Switch, but big news this past week just 2 days ago, actually on the 8th, was when the OLED, the new version, the model of the Nintendo Switch, was officially released. But that doesn't mean shit unless you pre-ordered because it is gone everywhere. And Meg actually went that morning of, and like she was in the middle of making breakfast, and I reminded her, "Oh yeah, Switch came out this morning. Like I'm set up for like restock alerts, but it looks like it." And after talking, she's just like, "I'm gonna go run and see if I can find one." And so she went to multiple GameStops. She went to Target, and the Target person actually said she just missed them because they had some for the first 30 minutes and then they were gone.
Yeah.
But most of the GameStops didn't even bother to order extras. I guess it was just there was one in I called one in while she was driving around. I was calling ahead to all these places, and the one in Fullerton said they actually did have extras, but they were all gone. But most of them, the couple that Meg went to said they didn't even get any extras. It was just for the pre-orders, and that was it. They didn't even bother to get any
So
in
the
stock.
so the best way to pick up a new Switch right now would be to find like your two or three closest targets, find out what their restock delivery days are. Targets usually have like two or three trucks that come a week for their restock days. Find out what their restock days are and go on like literally that morning. That's the only way you're going to get one between now and Christmas.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see. But yeah, So my friend Josh sent that. He's just started playing it tonight, but he's loving it so far. He was on the hunt for the OLED one too, but he just well, he already had the original model. Oh, shit. But yeah, so I'm doing Tomb Raider. After that, I'm probably gonna finally get around to Cyberpunk. Maybe I've heard they've updated quite a bit, fixed a lot of shit, and I actually saw an article the other day, just like editorial on some random website, where a guy was talking about how like if you have a beefy enough system to handle it, like my brand new laptop, for example, he was like, it's kind of life changing. Like it changes the whole game because the guy who wrote this article was saying originally he tried playing it on his older computer that just couldn't handle the what is it, the ray tracing, I think is the big thing that everybody's like gawking over,
Yeah.
because it's like the crazy hyper realistic, like the neon lights everywhere are reflected in like real-time puddles in the on the street corners and shit. Like it's insane how good the graphics are if you have it cranked up to like
Ultra
the
settings.
ultra high settings. Yeah.
Yep.
So that alone, I was kind of like, man, I'm really interested in playing that now. But I'll
That
get to Tomb Raider first.
if you do eventually get to that one, and by the time I think you get to that one, there'll probably be at least another 3 or 4 patches, maybe even the first DLC will come out by then.
Mm.
That one you will sink a decade into because there are so many like random collectibles and side missions and shit. Like a lot of you never played any of the GTA games, right?
Just like very little. I think I played a little bit of, like, I mostly watched it at friends' houses, and then occasionally like I would take over. Like we kind of like together played them. Like I came over to my friend's house and I just like play for a little while. But I've never done a start to finish GTA now.
Okay, so it kind of follows a similar beat to GTA where you're driving around, you're in between story missions, and then random shit will pop up here and there. And the random shit that you can do here and there, like crime missions and gang stuff and all this kind of things, they're randomly generated. So it's an infinite number of those little missions as you're driving around. You can completely ignore them if you want to, but if you're like me and you get easily sidetracked, you'll be in between like two main story missions and you'll do 15 of these little side like crime missions or gang fights or whatever is going on there, and in a 4 hour session you might get one story mission done.
Isn't that what they did for Skyrim as well?
Kind of, but the random encounters are fewer than is in Cyberpunk. Like you get
Uh,
like random dragon encounters and random like vampires or certain beasts every now and again, but they're
mm.
like specifically triggered at time intervals. So
Oh,
like you
okay.
don't you don't always get them.
Okay. I just remember that was nuts. I would, by the end of like after a while in Skyrim, I was just like running full speed ahead to my next like mission point. Like it was like there was always some like if you're anywhere near a town, like, oh, my grandma's on fire, please come help. Like every little like, by the end, I was like kicking orphans out of the way just to get away and to the next story point because I couldn't handle anymore. Like, go to this thing, go to that thing, and then most of the time you'd go, wander into some cave and there was jack shit there anyway. It's like, oh, God. It was like, you remember the towards the end of what, Liar Liar with Jim Carrey, where he's like trying not to run into anybody in his office, so he's just running down the hallway with his hands in his fingers in his ears, going, la, 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 la. Yeah, that was me running through Skyrim. So yeah,
Fair enough.
I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. Maybe I'll have to tackle some of my smaller story games before I dive into Cyberpunk.
Yeah, that's definitely a big one, and it could still, in my opinion, it still needs a little bit of time for them to fix some of the things.
Yeah.
There's still a few minor issues here and there, but other than that, it's I think it's a good game. It was a disaster at launch. It's been improved. It's still not the end all be all game that it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a good entrance into the cyberpunk genre. Hopefully more will follow.
Yeah. And it's the same thing that happened with Arkham Knight. Yeah, I grabbed it. I bought it pretty shortly after the release, but it was, oh no, wait, that was the one where they actually stopped selling it for a while, similar to Cyberpunk, because it was a mess. And then I grabbed it later down the road on a sale, I think that holiday season. And then I still didn't even play it for a while, like maybe another 6 months or something. So by the time I got around to it, it was pretty solid. There was maybe a bug or two I ran into, but for the most part, it was smooth sailing. But anyway. Yeah, good gaming lately. Megan and I have also been watching, this is completely random, but for, geek related. Have you ever watched any of like there's a bunch of documentaries and crap on Disney Plus?
Yeah, I started randomly watching a few just because between Marvel and Disney and Star Wars shows, like why am I paying for Disney Plus?
Yeah, there is a lot on there. So we fell down the rabbit hole in this one, Behind the Attraction, which is all about all the Disneyland rides.
Nice.
So it's all the behind the scenes story, like the backstories of how they came to be, from like the original idea to building it and all this stuff. And you even get to see the different versions that have been built in the different Disney parks around the globe. So like there's one I didn't even know about. Well, spoiler. Well, it's not really a spoiler. It's not like the last one we watched was the Space Mountain episode. And so that I didn't even know, but the first version of that, they were starting to come up with the idea in California, but then the Florida park opened up, and then it ended up coming to Florida first, and then to California, and then to like the Euro Disneys and other ones and stuff. But they're different. Like the Euro Disney one is like some crazy Jules Verne sort of vibe. Because in France, they're like, well, they wanted to appeal more to like the European audiences with like this kind of retro steampunky as opposed to like all American future rockets and shit. And then the most interesting one that I would like to go to someday is in, was it the Tokyo? No, it was the Shanghai one, because they scrapped the idea for Space Mountain there. Instead, they made it a similar ride, like a high speed roller coaster thing, but it's all Tron themed. So you're on the light cycles. And this was right around when the second Tron movie came, when Tron Legacy was coming out. So they created the new version of light cycles. Those are the pods that you're in, and you're actually sitting on it like a motorcycle. And you're just going like face first down this crazy high speed roller coaster track, which sounds a little scary, but it looks super rad. And I want to go there someday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, they're building it in Florida, Tom.
Oh, that's right. They announced that now they're building that in Florida as well. So we'll have it at Walt Disney World.
Makes sense since Tron 3 is still a go.
Supposedly still a go with Jared fucking Leto. But yeah, it's I definitely recommend that if you like to geek out about behind the scenes shit like that. If you're a Disney fan, Meg and I, of course, absolutely loved the. I think the first episode we watched was the Haunted Mansion episode. That's another cool one. They have a bunch of different versions in every park. Yeah, that's good stuff. And like the old people we are still watching Jeopardy. Ever since the whole thing started because LeVar Burton was one of the guest hosts, and now it's Mayim Bialik is just filling in to, win if they ever decide on a new guy. But that same dude, this like college grad, Matt Amodio, he's been the champion now. He's now the number 2 champion of all time. He's in like 30 something days, like 34 days or something like that. He's like over 1.5 million. It's freaking nuts.
Damn.
Meg and I are like almost like half hate watching it the whole time because we're like,
I enjoy it. I like the trivia aspect of it.
No, yeah, I love it.
It's really cool information that I didn't know.
No, yeah, I just find it hilarious how you're like so pitted against him. You're like, ugh, like you want to see him burn.
I want him to win for sure, but at the same time, I feel bad for all these other people that have spent months waiting in line to do Jeopardy, and they're pitted against this like unshakable beast of a guy,
Yeah, when the show starts and they're like the announcer guys introducing each new contestant, we're like, oh, let's see who are the lambs to the slaughter today.
You two are turning into the old couple from Arachnophobia, sitting down to watch the wheel.
Watching our stories. Well, that's the hilarious part. Meg and I were cracking up. I was saying, like, I had this revelation where I guess this is what your mid-30s is, at least to us. It's this weird time warp period where you're in this limbo of like, I'm all down for like a young person, like staying up all night playing PlayStation. But I also record Jeopardy. So it's a weird blend of the young and old.
Uh-huh.
Anyway.
I still won't watch Wheel of Fortune though.
Nah, yeah, we're not into the wheel.
Well, the host is a douchebag.
Yeah,
like he always says like really snarky, assholey things to the contestants.
Yeah, Sajak is kind of a dick. Yeah. Kiss my ass, Sajak. There was another one I saw. My friend Rachel shared on Instagram stories. Reminded me that Muppets Haunted Mansion special is now on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely have to watch that because I mean, come on, Muppets. This was not. This isn't exactly news, but I just found it hilarious. I saw this. So since the announcing of the casting news for the Super Mario movie came out, the internet had a field day with
everything about it.
Everything about it, yeah. And probably especially Charlie Day being cast as Luigi. There was a lot of people having fun with that, but probably my favorite thing to come out of it, some dude on YouTube posted a clip where I guess there's some like Nintendo filmmaker app or game or tool or something where you can just like create your own little mini movies. So he posted this video of the sound clip is Charlie Day doing the whole Pepe Sylvia bit on It's Always Sunny. But the video is like very well animated Mario and Luigi. So it's actually him as Luigi flipping the fuck out in front of like a bulletin board. It's like perfect. It's spot on. And at some point he has like, he's sitting there like ranting and going crazy and you hear Charlie Day and it cuts to Mario and it cuts back to Luigi. And all of a sudden he has like a half smoked cigarette in his hand, but it's still Luigi. It's hilarious. I'll have to send it to you. Anyway, about that shit. There's actual news that came out this week. Last 2 weeks, yes. Some more events that happened this past week. Joe Bob, our beloved Last Drive-In, they had a Halloween hoedown special. And It just aired this Friday. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but it should be streaming now, available on Shudder. I thought they were going to show Halloween movies because they actually had the two special guests they had on are behind the new Halloween franchise continuation, or like soft reboot, whatever, with Jamie Lee Curtis, David Gordon Green, the director of the new movies, and Jason Blum from, or Blum, is he pronounce it Blum? Because Blumhouse, founder of Blumhouse. But yeah, so they were on to just chat about horror movies and stuff. They ended up showing two random other like slasher movies that were kind of about like crazy serial killers, but that looked fun. Elvira has been in the news lately. I think we talked last time because she had this is like her 40th anniversary of being Elvira, like being the character Elvira. So she had a special on Shudder as well as Netflix. I guess they're doing all through October. They're doing like they had some goofy video. Actually, I think you sent it to me. This like Dr. Elvira prescribes you to watch these horror movies, but it's really just Netflix promoting their Netflix original like scary movies or Halloween movies. But it looks fun. I think she's doing more of her like commentary shtick with it and stuff.
Anything with Elvira in it.
Yeah. But yeah, and for the collectible fans, Neca has been on a roll. I mean, Neca's always on a roll to have us spend all our money. But they are releasing a 40th anniversary Elvira figure. So that is actually pretty rad. I kind of want it. I'll send you the link to it. But she's got, I mean, typical Neca fashion. They've got like, it's fully posable. She's got a couple different like head designs. So there's just a standard one and one where she's doing like a little snarky wink at the camera. And but yeah, it looks fun.
Solid figure.
Mm-hmm. And there was also one I thought you might be interested in, Todd, because I know you're a fan of the classic Disney cartoons like I am. I guess Neca is releasing Gargoyles figures.
Ooh.
So the first one they had up was Demona, the crazy evil. Well, she wasn't really evil. I think she was kind of like she was like the wild card sort of the series. Like sometimes she was a bad guy and sometimes she was on their side.
Wasn't that Marina Sirt's voice?
Yeah, Marina Sirtis. Yeah, she was like Goliath's kind of like past love interest or kind of like that, because they were like on opposing sides of, they were always like opposing sides of their war or whatever. But yeah, god damn, it's such a good show.
With half Star Trek Next Gen cast as voices.
Totally, just the cast of Star Trek just having fun. Yeah. But speaking of some throwback shows, this is some of the big news I wanted to get around to. I was surprised to see this. That 70s show.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you remember, even when it was still on the air in the later seasons, they tried to branch off with a spinoff. That 80s show. Yeah.
But wasn't that with a completely new cast?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was a completely different cast. It had nothing to do with that 70s show. It's
Totally
just
unrelated.
like, let's just have a spinoff and do wacky stuff with a whole new set of characters
In the
80s. And it tanked hard. I think I watched only the pilot episode and that was enough for me. I was like, nope. But
Didn't
it
it even
officially
get canceled for like in the middle of the first season?
They actually aired 13 episodes, so they did a half season. I don't even know if that was the intent. I don't know if it's supposed to be a full season run or not. but anyway.
I liked the Tuesday character because she had that punk spike hair thing going on.
So it was Meg from the early 2000s.
Wow,
Kinda, yeah.
You actually remembered a character from that show?
Obviously, I just said how much I liked her. So
No, I'm just shocked that anybody remembers anything other than that 80s show did exist. Anyway, out of the blue, that 90s show is officially a go. Now so I saw the headline. I'm like, ugh, really? But then immediately, Kurtwood Smith and Deborah Jo Rupp, aka Red and Kitty, are back. So that immediately perks my interest. Okay, so this is a direct continuation of that 70s show.
Yes.
Meg just showed me a picture of the girl she's talking about from the 80s show. Okay, yeah, she does look rad.
Right?
Okay, cool.
Like, that's cool.
June Tuesday, that's her name.
She had the giant
The
90s mohawk.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is a continuation. The description reads, set in Wisconsin in 95. That 90s show follows Leia Forman, of course, Leia, daughter of Eric and Donna, who is visiting her grandparents for the summer and bonds with a new generation of Point Place kids under the watchful eye of Kitty and the stern glare of Red. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll never dies. It just changes clothes. There are...
Sorry, real quick.
Oh.
Sorry. Going back to that 80s show, fucking Glenn Howerton was in it.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
I did not know that.
Wow. That's hilarious.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. Oh, shit, and Kyler Lee. Wow. Oh, shit, Kyler Lee was June Tuesday. Holy shit. Supergirl's sister was June Tuesday, the punk chick that Meg loved.
Wow.
Oh, wow. This feels like a 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Wow. Okay. The more you know. Yeah. So that 90s show also, on top of the returning to some of the best cast members, there are no deals. Officially, they're saying there's no deals in place with the other original cast members for the new series, but of course they're expecting if this does take off, you'll probably get cameos. Yeah. Probably most likely Topher Grace, Laura Prepon, and maybe even Ashton Kutcher. We'll see.
Definitely. Well, if Ashton Kutcher does it, Mila Kunis will probably do it too.
Yeah, for sure. It'd be so
Definitely
awkward.
No Mastersons.
Yeah, no. That'd be funny if Mila Kunis was all in and Ashton Kutcher was like, no, fuck that, no. And so then they'd have to like carve a story around why he's not there.
You know, to be honest though, I think that would be really cool if both of them came back to the show because they're together now in real life.
Yeah.
So I feel like the dynamic would be so much better watching them, knowing that they're for realsies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would be fun. I could definitely see them doing that. And this is also being produced by the original creators as well. So it's not like some random people who are like, oh, we want to cash in on that. It's the actual original creators of that 70s show are coming back for this one. So
I'm hopeful, but then again, like the Boy Meets World, they were the original creators. Fuller House was the original creators. And
that is true, yeah. Oh, a lot of people seem to really love the shit out of Fuller House. I think we watched the first season of it, and it was
I watched the first season, was okay. I started to watch the second season, and I was like, nah, I can't do anymore.
I watched like handful of episodes from the first season, and it was just they were leaning way too hard, and it just got to be too much for me. Yeah. And I don't even think I finished the season. I think maybe you did, Tone.
I think I did, yeah. I couldn't stand all of the fourth wall breaking. Like all of it was just like a big gimmick. Like every single line was like, look to the camera, like, you see what we did? Like, that bothered. Like they could, if they just did it straight, then it would have been fine. So hopefully we'll see with
they were just playing too hard into the like throwbacks and shit. And
the wink and the nod.
Yeah.
All the winking and nodding.
Like, where's Michelle? Well, Michelle is doing fashion stuff in LA or New York. And it's just like,
look
I get
at
it.
the camera.
Yeah.
Anyway. In some very fun sounding spinoff news, I saw the headline first and I was like, another one, like, I don't know. But then the description, The Boys is getting a spinoff series.
We already knew that, didn't we?
I don't think we covered this last time.
I think it was rumored. It's been rumored for a while, but I don't think we've actually heard anything about it until now.
Yeah, so now they confirmed it and they released a description. It is described as a young adult spinoff, to which I go, what? Because The Boys is hard R rated material. But it's not like it's not catering to young adults, it's about young adults. So it's set they're portraying younger superheroes at America's only college exclusively for young adult superheroes, which is run by the Vought Corporation or Vought International. So, and they're described, the Untitled spinoff is described as an irreverent R-rated series that explores the lives of hormonal competitive soups as they put their physical, sexual, and moral boundaries to the test, competing for the best contracts in the best cities. It's part college show, part Hunger Games, with all the heart, satire, and raunch of The Boys.
So, in other words, it's a reason for 20-something actors to get naked.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And
pretty much.
Try to kill each other. Yeah. Yeah. Always down for more The Boys. Again, we still don't have a official release date for season 3, but I'm assuming it's probably early next year. Yeah.
I think sooner rather than later. I think it might even premiere by the end of this year.
Yeah, maybe. That'd be a nice surprise. Although we already have a glutton of stuff coming in the next few months. Here's another one. Completely a lot of unexpected news this week, or in the past 2 weeks. Babylon 5 which I still have not watched. It's been on my list forever. Like, as a proper sci-fi nerd, I have to get around to this someday. It's in that category. But it is now being rebooted, and not just by anyone, but from the original series creator, J. Michael Straczynski. So he's just deciding to retool his own shit.
Now, it's a sci-fi universe show, so why reboot it? Why not just do like Star Trek and just pick it up with a new crew or a new station somewhere else? Why do we have to reboot?
Yeah, I saw a brief interview with him somewhere. I don't think I saved it, but he kind of it was a really muddy answer about something about like he can't fish in the same pond twice, basically.
Well, that's exactly what he's doing though by rebooting it.
Yeah, he's just like wanting to go in a different direction with it and retell like different stories in the same universe. But again, he could have just continued the same universe. I don't know. But I don't know, maybe to update it for more current audiences. But again, yeah, like you said, you could just do the same thing with just like a Star Trek style thing, like Star Trek Discovery or the 1,000 other Star Trek shows that are happening now. Yeah, I don't know. So officially it is a reboot, not a continuation. But even then, I remember Babylon 5 kept on going for quite some time. Like even after the show ended, they did a lot of like one-off specials, like little one-off films, at least like 4 or 5 of them after the fact.
I remember seeing like Sci-Fi Channel stuff like that. I don't think I ever watched more than like a few minutes of it, but I know my brother was huge into that, and I do remember that on Sci-Fi a lot. Speaking of Star Trek, if you haven't caught up with it, Lower Decks is the season finale is next week, and this season I think is better than last season.
Yeah, I'm waiting till it's all out so I can binge it all quick. But I did see the latest trailer a day or so ago for Discovery season 4. Did you catch that?
Yeah, that one's got the internet up in arms right now.
Yeah,
Ferengi are getting the Klingon treatment.
Well, so I saw, there's a very quick flash of which is clearly a Ferengi with a new design, but it's actually an old design. I saw an article where they cleared it up. I guess this is actually going back to the original concept designs for the Ferengi, for all the way back to concept art from '87, gearing up for next gen. So they're roughly the same. They just look a little bit more like bat-like because they've got the points at the end of their big ass ears. But I didn't mind it.
It's just more stylized because next gen didn't have the budget to do more in-depth costume at that time during the first season.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's not as offensive to me as the Klingon redesign was.
Yeah, this is like touch-ups and highlights. It's not the whole Klingon I got run over my fucking face with a Mack truck. Like that's I don't understand the Klingon face, the modern Klingon face. But that is, yeah, this is nowhere near a similar revamp like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, it looked good. Like the uniforms. The uniforms looked crisp and clean.
Yeah. And also I guess there was a reveal, the new president of the Federation in this far, far future we're in now is actually it's a good little Easter egg for DS9 fans, because this person is a mix of human ancestry, Cardassian, and Bajoran, who were forever at war. So kind of cool. Yeah, it looks exciting. It's very vague what there's like some sort of space anomaly, and that's about all they really say what's happening. But all you know is that the whole gang's back. There's more Captain Burnham now. Saru back in action, which was kind of a cliffhanger at the end of the last season, because he ended up taking a leave to just go back to spend some time on his homeworld. Yeah. Mortig, which I can't remember her character's name off the top of my head, but who cares? It's Mortig, which is great. Yeah. Yeah, looks fun. I'll definitely have to. I have no interest in Paramount Plus beyond these Star Trek shows, so I'm just waiting for these new seasons to come out, and then I can binge them and then cancel my subscription again.
There's a few good shows on there, and every once in a while they'll pop up with some good like vintage movies from 80s, 90s, and earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as if I need more to watch.
But I mean, if you're looking for like random stuff to watch because you're tired of whatever you're currently watching, that's basically how I use Paramount Plus right now.
Yeah. Well, then you just turn on the TV to late night to Die Hard with a Vengeance. That's all you need. Speaking of more shit we gotta watch, the Book of Boba Fett got a premiere date and a poster in the last 2 weeks. So the Book of Boba Fett will officially premiere on Disney Plus December 29th.
Nice. Conveniently when the finale of Hawkeye should be premiering or airing.
Oh, cool. There you go. Yeah. I saw some articles floating around about some like leaked storyboards or some leaked sequence from the Book of Boba Fett, and everybody got excited because he's gonna fight a Rancor or something like that.
Yeah, apparently like the intensity like of the combat and stuff gets ramped up in Book of Boba Fett from anything we've seen in Mandalorian so far.
Yeah, that's what I kept hearing.
Which, good news.
Yeah. Also in the Star Wars world, they announced some new novels coming out, expanding the lore in the post Return of the Jedi era. So there's a couple books coming out. There's a couple young adult ones, but I think the big announcement was Shadow of the Sith, which comes from author Adam Christopher. I don't know what else he's done, but takes place after Return of the Jedi, and it's essentially serving as a Force Awakens prequel, because it follows Luke and Lando on a mission to they're searching for Exegol. So so that'd be interesting. There's a young adult one, Star Wars Padawan. It's gonna be about Obi-Wan in his early days as a student under Qui-Gon.
Nice.
Could be cool.
More of the High Republic stuff has just come out. A novel just came out this week, and then we got another one due in 2 weeks, I think.
Okay.
So they're going heavy into the expanded universe right now, since we haven't had a Star Wars film in general since what, 4 years ago, 5 years ago now already.
Yep. Hey, remember when Disney said they were going to have one every year? Yeah.
But you know what? I'd rather them not do any more movies if they're gonna be shit movies.
That's precisely why they stopped.
And have them just do good TV shows like they've been doing.
Yeah.
Well, they just need to give Filoni complete creative control over both film and television. If they do that, I think that will right the ship.
Yeah, for sure. They just need consistency is all.
Yeah. Just give Filoni the Fahey treatment.
Yep. Down for that. Got a little bit of comics news. Todd, were you ever interested in Saga, Brian K. Vaughn?
No, that was not one of the ones that I was reading.
I like Saga.
Okay. Yeah, so this was one, I only read the first trade. I loved it and then just, got distracted by a million other, pieces of media. But all my friends that continued on with the series were like, oh my God, you need to read this. It's amazing. It's Brian K. Vaughn, who also did Y the Last Man, which, by the way, that FX series has been getting great reviews, which is awesome.
Have you not watched any of it yet?
No. Meg and I were like, oh, do we want it? But we're watching so many other things right now. We're like, let's wait till the season's over and then we'll binge it. So I gotta do that. So I gotta get the latest season of What We Do in the Shadows. All the FX stuff, I guess, is on hold right now. but Brian K. Vaughn also did. Whoa.
What?
I think I was feeling like a subtle earthquake.
My water looks still, so you're just going crazy.
Okay, I'm going crazy. Whatever. Anyway.
I get that every now and again, just the random. Was that an earthquake? Nope.
I do that. I get that all the time, and then I look for some sort of liquid around me, and then realize it's not moving.
You look for the T-Rex ripples in the water.
I do.
Okay, so Brian K. Vaughn, his other big, huge one after Y the Last Man is Saga. Now, writer Brian K. Vaughn together with artist Fiona Staples, and they did 54 issues, which they declared was the middle point of the entire series. And then that was published in July of 2018. And then they announced they were going on hiatus. They were just going to take a quick, maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year even, just to take a breather. And,
yeah, right.
and before they carried on with the second half of the whole story. So only this past week did they finally announce they are coming back. So hiatus since July 2018. Now it's they announced issue number 55 will be coming in January next year. But it's honestly, I only read that first trade, and it's been so many years. The comic started in 2012, but it's very space opera-y, very wild adventure. It starts off with these two different species of like hybrid human alien. They get together, get married, and end up having a daughter or having a little baby by the end of that first trade, or even first issue, I forget. And it goes on from there. I believe it eventually becomes the daughter's story because I see her on all the later covers. But it's just this insane world. There's TV, there's other people, aliens or beings of some sort, where they have like CRT monitor heads and they're constantly fucking everywhere. And it's like crazy, like blood, sex, and violence, giant, like give no fucks space opera stuff.
Okay.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's crazy.
It's a little crazy.
Crazy? Was that the right word, Toad? Crazy?
A little crazy.
I think it was.
Yeah. But
no cyberpunky in there?
Not that I recall. I don't know.
Never mind.
Anyway, it's a very beloved comic series. They're finally coming out with the second half of it. So for Brian K. Vaughn fans, for comic fans, this is a huge win. So I finally have to go and revisit that. Maybe by the time I catch up, the series will be done. Yeah. In other big news, let's get back to TV because Marvel has been doing some shit.
Mm-hmm.
We have got to talk about that What If finale.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was telling you right before we started recording, Todd. My friend Becky, my writer friend Becky, she was texting with her earlier, and she was telling me she hadn't really gotten into What If. Like she watched that first episode because Captain Carter, and then she was kind of like, that's really gimmicky, like just swapping out two characters,
They're essentially retelling the same story, blah blah
yeah,
blah,
yeah,
that kind
yeah.
of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so I told her like, no, you need to keep watching because as we know now, once you get to Party Thor, shit gets crazy. That's when Marvel starts to reveal their hand, and we get the mega villainous Ultron basically gets his due. Which in later interviews with the creators of the series, they're very happy to do that because like Ultron, if you're a longtime comics fan, you know like how heavy shit gets with Ultron, how devastating he can be. Whereas in the movieverse, we only had time for one little story with him, Age of Ultron, which was one quick movie. And Thanos became, the big overarching bad for the whole thing. Well, in the What If universe, we get the alternate version, at least for a good, 3 or 4 final episodes?
Yeah.
For Ultron. So it starts off at the end of, we get the hint of it at the end of the Party Thor episode where he just busts in, like, what the hell? And the Watcher
shows up. Yeah.
Yeah. And for the first time, the Watcher's like, what is happening? I don't know. I don't understand. And then in the next episodes, we see that there's a universe where Ultron actually succeeded in implanting himself in the Vision body that he was creating, and at that point he ends up
wiping out all life in his universe.
Yeah, and especially when Thanos comes along, and he apparently some people were split on this. Some people hated the moment. I loved it. The fact that Thanos warps in with the gauntlet and all the stones,
except for the Mind Stone.
Yeah, ready to do some shit. And ultra powered Vision / Ultron takes one look at him, and within a heartbeat, like I think he says like, interesting or something, and he just slices him the fucking half like a demented old Looney Tunes.
Yeah, I liked it. It showed the fact that like sometimes like you can have a fight where the other person just wasn't expecting what you were about to do.
Yeah,
like Thanos wasn't expecting anybody to have like equal power to him, and just kind of like, I don't care. I'm just gonna warp in right in front of this guy.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So then with already super powered Ultron with the Infinity Stones, he ascends to like god level powers to the point where he actually can sense the Watcher.
Yeah, he can perceive the Watcher.
Yeah. The only time that's happened before is with Doctor Strange, when he consumed all of those Lovecraftian horrors and gained all of their powers. He was the only other guy, the dark side Strange that we knew from previous episodes. He was the only other one who detected the Watcher and tried to get him to help him desperately. Super powered Ultron sees him, goes, "Who the hell are you?" and like breaks into his little multiverse bunker, and big crazy cosmic fight ensues with them. And now Ultron realizes, I have this. I've already conquered this entire universe. Now there's other universes out. There's infinite universes to conquer. To which the Watcher desperately calls upon his own Avengers team, or he calls them the Guardians of the Multiverse, with bringing back, and that's where everything comes together. So Captain Carter, Even the freaking Killmonger, Evil Strange. He lists everybody's help, and that's what I'm missing. The middle part of this, where we see the first world that he destroys with
Natasha and Hawkeye.
Natasha and
and Clint.
Yeah, as like the lone survivors and desperately trying to find a fix, trying to find a way to stop him. End up teaming up with computerized Armanzola to act as a virus. And I love that whole episode, just that kind of like downtime with just the two of them and getting to spend more time with Natasha and Clint. And it felt like by the end of this entire season, it felt a little more like they were doing more justice for Natasha because, having killed her off in Infinity War, or Endgame, sorry. Really great performance by Lake Bell, by the way. That's one of the few cast members the original cast members who did not return. Of course, that's not Scarlett Johansson, that's Lake Bell, but doing a really good her own version of Black Widow. And that was Jeremy Renner, right?
Yeah, that was Jeremy Renner.
Yeah. But yeah.
And he did well portraying the I'm done, just there is no hope. What are we even fighting for? Like guy.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a crap load of fun. Freaking Party Thor using his war cry of Viva Las Vegas. Fantastic. Strange dropping all of the zombies onto Ultron. Fantastic. Yeah. I did not see that coming.
I wish we would have got a little bit more of the Wanda versus Ultron fight. That would have been nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because he says it's not the zombies, it's what came with them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what else? Oh, the story behind, so along with this new team, we get a kind of a spacefaring version of Tony Stark, who is like super best friends with Gamora, who is in Thanos armor.
And using his big giant sword, double sword.
So everybody saw that and went, well, that's an interesting universe. What happened there? And apparently they were going to have their own episode, but a COVID outbreak happened during production at one of the animation studios, which caused a massive delay. And so they had to cut that episode. Yeah. So you get a nice glimpse of them like, wow, that's interesting. And it still works because it's like, oh, okay, there's just more universes out there we haven't gotten around to. Kind of like perks your interest even more for what's to come. But the showrunners did say they are going to come back to that episode. They are going to put it in season 2. So that'll be nice. They also said we're definitely going to get more Captain Carter.
In-game or the mid-credit scene, like that's obvious what they're going for next.
Yeah, you get the return of, by the way, spoilers for anybody, obviously we're talking about the finale, What If, but
we've had tons of spoilers already, so.
But yeah, you get that very touching moment where they have unearthed the Hydra Stomper armor and revealed that Steve is inside it. So the producers said definitely more Captain Carter in season 2. There is going to be some more building on the characters from the current Disney Plus shows and stories. Not as much as they wanted to, though, because they were in development right around the same time as some of those shows while they were writing for season 2. So Kevin Feige vetoed a few things. He's like, no, you can't touch that yet. Nope, we're not there yet. But yeah. And another bit of unfortunate news. The director confirmed that there was rumors about this, but the director did confirm that while Chadwick Boseman was still around, there was a T'Challa Star-Lord spinoff in development. But of course that didn't come to pass.
Damn.
Yeah.
We would have got an entire series of that, which would have been amazing because that was probably one of the standout characters of the What If,
Yeah.
at least fun wise.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier too. Like, my friend Becky, when she started watching that episode, she's like, "I'm not digging this. Like, he is too wholesome for a Star Lord. That doesn't make sense." But then afterwards, she warmed up to it. I'm like, "No, no, no. That's the whole point. Like, this is a different version, and you see how wildly things can change. Like, he is such a better Star Lord than Peter Quill, with T'Challa bouncing around the galaxy. He's righting all the wrongs. He reformed Thanos, for God's sake." Anyway, and in very exciting live action spin-off news, this week we got the word that Catherine Hahn will return as Agatha Harkness in her own series.
Now the question begs, is it going to be a continuation or is it going to be a prequel? Because
don't know. See, they kind of already, I mean, they covered her backstory in a bit of quick fashion in the final episodes of WandaVision. I would love to see a continuation because then they leave the gate open to continue playing with her in the MCU down the road. Like somehow she breaks out of like Wanda's like mind control that she left her in, where she reverted her to the, you know, hunky-dory character. I forget what her character's name was in the, you know, in the retro town version of herself. That would make the most sense to me to keep moving forward. But then again, who knows? Hollywood loves prequels for some ungodly reason. Yeah, I think it would make a lot more sense to keep going forward with her.
Yeah. And it does, they are kind of going toward the mystical side of things too. So having her in current timeline does make sense, especially with Moon Knight and Blade and all that coming up soon.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Moon Knight has wrapped filming.
Yay!
A little tidbit there. That's set to premiere sometime next year. Ethan Hawke, I forgot he was a part of that show. I don't know what character he's playing. I don't know if they've disclosed, but I think he's supposed to be some kind of villain. But he was in an interview recently and he was commenting on it and saying he's been loving it and praising Oscar Isaac's performance, saying he's been amazing. And Ethan Hawke said he's really enjoying being able to play in that comic book world, but not having all the baggage that usually comes with comic book stories. Because like if you go in to play like Batman or Spider-Man, well, then you have all the baggage of all the guys who came before you and being, you know, graded on, you know, against them and everything. Whereas not a lot of people know, like Moon Knight is not as mainstream, you know, to the common public.
He's definitely a niche character and one that's not been portrayed in anything other than comics at this point. Like, I don't even think he was on any of the cartoons. I'm not even sure that he appeared in like X-Men or any of the 90s stuff.
Yeah, I don't remember him any of that now. Yeah. There's still ongoing tons of rumors circulating around all Defenders gang, which I'm trying not to pay any attention to at this point because it's still like I'm still in mourning for that whole corner of the MCU. And I'm trying to move on, and all these fucking rumors persist, and it's not helping.
And there was just a flurry of them this fucking last like 2 or 3 weeks. Like,
they've been floating that John Bernthal has been confirmed for a new go at Punisher in some form or fashion.
Vincent D'Onofrio is going to be in Hawkeye. They wanted to get Matt Murdock, what's his name?
Charlie Cox.
They wanted to get Charlie Cox, but unfortunately his schedule didn't line up, and he's already in Spider-Man. So
yeah, rumors.
They also said Jessica Jones is coming back too. So
yeah,
virtually everybody except for Iron Fist and Luke Cage have been confirmed.
Yeah.
is what the rumors are.
The rumors are saying that they're confirmed. Yeah. And I did see a recent interview with John Bernthal, and he at least said, like, guys, I seriously have no idea. Like, I have no idea. And if it is going to happen, I am always the last to know these things. But
He
he
also
said if they did give him a call, absolutely, he'd say yes in a heartbeat because he
yeah,
loves playing it.
the quote was Punisher is in my blood.
Yeah. And Charlie Cox, in a separate interview, probably when he was answering to the rumors about Spider-Man, he said he was praising John Bernthal, saying he doesn't know anybody who could be a better Punisher than him. So yeah, we shall see.
And I watched one of the Charlie Cox interviews where the people were badgering him with questions about Spider-Man and shit, and he could not contain himself. Like, he was stumbling over his words, he was giggling. I mean, obviously he didn't say anything,
Oh, you think
but
he was kind of going like, what? No, where did you hear that? That's crazy.
yeah, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Like, he absolutely wanted to say something but could not say anything.
See, we need to get Paul Bettany to run in there, yell at, yell at snitches end up in ditches. Well, I'll tell you who is returning. One of my superhero favorites and one of my favorite shows, Legends of Tomorrow. They're about to hit their 100th episode.
Damn.
Yeah, in their new season 7, and Wentworth Miller is going to be back at least for that special episode as Captain Cold or Leonard Snark. So that'll be fun. That's October 27th. I think I had a little bit more TV news. Oh, there's a Rick and Morty short coming up to continue on with the last season. Well, they're calling it a horror anime short for like basically a Halloween special.
Their Treehouse of Horrors.
Yeah, but it's another one they're doing in a different style, anime style. The Great Yokai Battle of Akihabara. Airing at 11 p.m. Oh shit, tonight.
Nice.
Well, there you go. We better speed along this podcast. Oh, and it'll also replay on Toonami the following Saturday, this Saturday at 4 a.m. after a couple Batman movies playing on Toonami.
Just get your damn releases going and stop giving this half season every 2.5 years bullshit.
Yeah. Well, they promised supposedly now the wait time is going to be shorter and shorter. Like from here on, they've been pretty full steam ahead on continuing, like starting up work on the next season as they're wrapping up the current season. So we'll see. I had one tiny little bit in gaming news. I saw that I guess Naughty Dog, creators of The Last of Us and Uncharted, things that I love, they're teasing something online. They're working on something new, something big. They have a massive hiring spree going, especially in their animation department. They have been working on, I didn't hear about this, but I guess there was the Last of Us game, The Last of Us 2, was supposed to have a multiplayer element to it, which then got pulled off shortly before the release. And now they're making it its own thing, The Last of Us Factions. So they're going to have a multiplayer little standalone in the Last of Us universe.
Okay.
All right.
It's been a slow like couple of weeks for video games. The only two bits of news that are of note that I would say the general population would be interested in are one, we talked about this before, but the Grand Theft Auto trilogy, it's called the Definitive Edition, is getting a re-release. It's official now. It's no longer just rumored.
Oh yeah, I think I did see about that. So what, number 3, Vice City,
and San Andreas. So all three of those are getting a re-release with updated visuals, updated UI. Sorry, audio. And it is coming. When's the release date? Damn it! You said coming later this year. It doesn't have a release date, but it's officially Grand Theft Auto: The Trilogy Definitive Edition.
Okay.
And I will buy it just to replay Vice City.
That's the one I think when you were asking me earlier, like if I've ever gone through any of the Grand Theft Autos, that's the one I remember the most. Just like I think I was at my friend John's house and I just remember countless hours after school, like just watching him play and loving the shit out of it.
I would say San Andreas is definitely a better game, but the ambiance and driving around like a fictional Miami with the fucking 80s soundtrack going is just chef's kiss.
Yeah. Didn't they have like wacky like advertisements and stuff too?
Oh, yeah. They have that in all the GTA games. They're really good.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's coming out, and then also this one will probably be good news for Meg, but I know you've already played these all. Kingdom Hearts games will all be coming to Switch.
Oh, cool. I think I'm done with Kingdom Hearts. I enjoyed them while I played them, but the story just got so impossibly convoluted, and just that we kind of talked about this the other day, like what we're talking about. You were talking about like your loathing of the long-winded cutscenes, and me, I love I love games that play out like movies and stuff, but even I do have my limits. Like I've expressed to you my love-hate with the Metal Gear series, the Metal Gear franchise. Like I loved them. I played them all. Well, I still haven't played the last one. But all the way up to 4, which was supposed to wrap up the franchise effectively. The end of that game, like from the time that you stop controlling the character, stop controlling Solid Snake to the end of the credits, it's like an hour plus movie. Like an hour plus. It's ridiculous. It is insane. And again, the further you go in that series, the more insanely nonsensical the plot becomes. It's terrible. It's like I loved it, and then I had to stop apologizing for it because it just makes no sense after a while. But it's very, and this is not being me being racist or anything. It's just a clear style of the more Japanese RPGs and Japanese storytelling in games. Like an hour of discussing the morality of war and whatnot, and then fighting for about 2 minutes.
That's a cornerstone, because that's like every other cutscene and every other conversation you have in the Final Fantasy VII remake. That's the same exact shit. It's like, why are we fighting, Cloud? I don't know. Why am I a soldier? I always wanted to be a soldier growing up, and I idolized soldiers, and now I'm a soldier, and I'm a jaded asshole.
Yeah. It's kind of the same reason why I never got back to Attack on Titan. Like I still kind of want to, because I got like, I think through the first 2 seasons, and then me and Meg just, fell off the wagon on that. But every episode, 29 minutes of intensely emotional why, what, when, and then a minute of fighting.
And it gets fucking weird. It gets real weird.
That's why I never finished Ni no Kuni, was because you would walk 5 paces and it would do a crazy cutscene into what's that fighting style called in the Final Fantasy? Turn-based?
Oh, the turn-based, yeah.
And it would take fucking forever to get through a turn-based battle for like the smallest little thing. And then you would finish the battle and you would walk another 5 paces and it would do the whole thing all over again. And it was just like, I'm trying to avoid all of this shit. Just move on with this adventure. But it just drove me bonkers.
Yeah. But yes, a very, very specific style. And Kingdom Hearts was one of the worst offenders for me, as far as like the plot is absolutely inexplicable. by the time you get to game 3.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah, no sense at all.
Okay.
But I thought a while back we got news that there was some new kind of a new version of that being spearheaded by Disney, where they were going to mix all of their like theme park lands together in some sort of story.
So that's in the works. It sounds more like the old Disneyland Adventure game from the NES, if you remember that, than
Okay.
anything else.
Okay.
It's more of like a shared Disney universe, like based around the parks rather than like the characters.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't heard too much about that.
All right, we'll see. Yeah, because I really liked, the first half of it, that whole, franchise and everything. But yeah, it just got way too Final Fantasy. If they take the Final Fantasy out of it and just give me like a solid, comprehensible story where, all the Disney characters can come together like the Avengers, then I'm all down for that. Give me that. But we'll see. Man. Cue everybody calling Tony racist, hating on the Japanese games.
JRPGs are definitely very long-winded.
Yeah. Anyway, anything else in games you got, or shall we move on?
Nothing really in games. I mean, a
Yeah.
brief big thing that came out that you probably don't care about, but it was kind of huge in the gaming world. Twitch, the website where the majority of Western gamers go to watch people play video games.
I am familiar
Their
with Twitch.
their entire source code, their revision history down to developer comments, their user database of emails, even the amount that they pay out to streamers was hacked and leaked last week. This was a gigantic deal in the streaming world.
Everything of everything. So exposing what they pay their streamers.
Yes.
I bet a lot of people are interested in that information.
Oh, yes. A lot of people. Turns out, actually, at least over the last couple of years, Critical Role, of all people, has been their number one streamer.
Oh, wow.
They are getting paid out on average $1 million a month.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That is an industry.
You have to take into consideration Critical Role is a very large production. It's not just Matt Mercer and the 6 other members of the party. They have a full production crew. They have people that make minis. They have people that do sound design and all kinds of other things. So that's a full production company. So $1 million is not bad.
Yeah, they've got a lot of people on payroll.
Yeah. So that makes more sense. But then like the other like top 10 streamers, like some of those are just like 2 and 3 man operations, and they're making close to $1 million. Like the number one production company streamer is XQC. You've probably never heard of him yourself, but have you ever heard of like PewDiePie?
Oh yeah, I remember him.
He's very similar in like appearance and reaction to PewDiePie's early days.
The dude playing games and being wacky.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Kind of a douchebag. That kind of thing. He is making like 900,000. And keep in mind, also remember that this is just the stuff the payouts that go through Twitch. Majority of streamers get donations that go through third-party websites, and they get sponsorship. So anybody in like the top, I would say 5,000 streamers, the majority of their income doesn't actually come from Twitch. It comes from donations and sponsorships and partnerships and that kind of stuff. So he's making XQC is making $900,000 a month from Twitch, but then he's also making probably, I would say, 100,000 or more per stream on donations and sponsorships and partnerships and all this other shit.
Yeah, he's filthy, disgusting rich.
Yeah.
God damn. That just. Sorry, go on.
And like all of the top 100 streamers are making ridiculous money. It kind of falls off after 100, but still, like getting to like the top 100, you're making $100,000 a month.
Yeah. This is when you become that meme of you putting on your clown makeup as you get ready for your 9-to-5 desk job, and you see these other people's salaries for playing games on the internet.
To be fair, it's a fucking difficult job. It is a difficult job.
Yeah, I'm sure they had to hustle to get to the level they're at, but fuck me.
Yeah, like one of my favorite streamers that I watch consistently, he is not in the top 100. He's probably somewhere toward the like 4,000 or 5,000. He's still in the top like 5,000 in streamers, which would put him in the top like 1% of streamers. Like I think his was also leaked, and he was making somewhere around like 20K or 10K a month, something like that. Like that's like the goal. That's that right there. I don't need to be uber like XQC rich. I want to be that guy rich. Just enough where I can quit my fucking job, I can live the current lifestyle I'm living, and also save.
There you go. I believe in you, Todd. Well, now that we're sorry, go ahead.
That's the like you have to get to that level, you have to average between 1 to 300 viewers per stream. That's the golden spot. If you can get to that, you're good. You've officially become a professional streamer. If you're like me, you're shit, and you get on average between 5 to 15 viewers, and you get no money from it. Like I still haven't got a single payout from Twitch, and I've been partnered for like a year now. Or not partnered, I've been affiliated is the term.
Everyone starts somewhere, Todd. Just keep at it. Consistency, hustle, and before you know it, you'll get to retire at 90 years old.
Pretty much.
Jeez. Now that you've thoroughly depressed us, let's move on to final bits of just some scattered movie news I thought was kind of cool.
I got one that I just sent you right there. One that I'm excited about.
What do we got here?
Cats.
Yes. I did see this poster a little earlier today. Scream, the latest, is technically Scream 5, I believe, but it's just called Scream.
Yeah.
Curious, like, why people were posting that. I'm like, I get it's Halloween and all, but like, it's Scream.
No, yeah, this is actually the new poster for the new one. With an announcement date on it, only in theaters specifically, no streaming. January 14th this coming year.
All right, cats. Would you relax with all the jumping around and sound and crashing into things that you're doing right now?
Doing ape shit about something.
Yeah, they're both like ridiculously running around here right now.
Yeah,
no. I am, as you know, I've mentioned it multiple times. I'm not really much of a horror person anymore. I watched a lot of it as a kid growing up, and I watched a lot in my 20s, but in my 30s, I've lost my taste for it. I am definitely catching this. This is what I'm probably not going to go release weekend, but I'll probably go like the next weekend.
Yeah. And Scream is on a different level. Like Scream is kind of fun for the whole family because it teeters on that line of like, yes, it's a horror movie, but it's also like a fun thriller with comedic breaks in it, with poking fun at themselves at the fact of like we're seriously we are in a slasher movie effectively, like, or this is how a slasher movie play out. And the big thing about this one is it's the original cast returning along with,
that's cool.
Yeah, Nev Campbell's back, David Arquette, Courtney Cox.
Isn't she the one that has like MS now?
No, you're thinking
I always get them confused.
I'm blanking on her name. Hellboy's girlfriend. Shit, I'm completely blanking on her name, so I have to look it up. Selma Blair.
Okay, I get them confused.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, they kind of, well, no, they don't look that similar.
They don't look that similar, but they're both from the same era.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Same types of movies.
Yeah.
I tend to get them confused in my brain.
Yeah. So yeah, Selma Blair was the girl who was not so kind initially to Reese Witherspoon in Legally Blonde, which I know now because Meg made me watch Legally Blonde.
Bend and snap.
He had no idea what that was.
Never
like
seen
even through all of the pop culture and stuff, I assumed he would have known what Bend and Snap meant, but
never heard
zero
that.
clue.
Never heard that at all. Yeah. Yeah, that looks fun. I mean, we haven't seen anything from it, but seeing that the original cast is back. I actually just saw a thing the other day. Apparently there was in promotion with them, Airbnb did a contest or raffle or something for someone to rent out the original Scream house from the first film where all the shit goes down.
I know it's a film, but fuck that still.
It's been remodeled to match how it looked pretty much, and while during filming there's the addition of Ghostface stained glass window up top the foyer.
Is there a half model of Rose McGowan stuck in the garage door?
Yeah, I don't know that. But they did say.
And is she cold?
Yeah, very cold. It's a bit nipply out. For that stay, particularly, the contest was for someone to stay there Halloween night. Someone or a party of people to stay there Halloween night. They would have VHS tapes of all the movies there to play in the living room. And they said supposedly somebody being Ghostface would randomly call throughout the night to chat.
Fuck that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely excited. I'm gonna have to go back and watch them all. I never saw the last one, which I think in the fourth one was any of the returning cast? Was Nev Campbell even in that one?
Campbell
or cameo or something?
I think it was Nev Campbell.
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah. Actually, all three of them had cameos.
Okay. But just cameos. It was like a whole other crowd's younger cast was the main story, really.
Yeah, and that younger cast was actually Emma Roberts and Hayden Panettiere. Jesus.
Oh shit. The patent young blondes at the time.
And Allison Brie.
Oh wow! Holy crap!
Adam Brody was in this too. Rory Culkin.
Okay, I gotta watch this.
Yeah, maybe I actually have to go back and watch it.
Meg, we're having a screamathon.
That's cool. I've only seen I think the first two.
I've seen the first two multiple times. I saw the third one once in theaters, and that was it. But yeah, we'll have to do that and gear up for the next one. Okay, a couple last bits of movie news, and I think we should wrap this up here. That Willy Wonka prequel that we were talking about last time.
Yeah, we just got our first look at Wonka.
Yeah, so Timothy Chalamet posted on his social media his first look, which, I mean, it looks cool. He could also be playing a young Ebenezer Scrooge. I mean, it's just a young British man in a hat and coat of the turn of the century.
It definitely looks more Burton-esque than it does original.
Gene Wilder.
Wilder, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. But also the other news surrounding this was rounding out the rest of the cast. Ladies and gentlemen, our beloved Mr. Bean is back. Rowan Atkinson has joined the cast, along with Sally Hawkins, Olivia Colman, and Jim Carter. Not familiar with him, but a few big names in this one. It's sounding more, again, I may have to bite my tongue or eat my words because I always pronounce how much I despise prequels, but this is rounding out to look kind of fun.
I hope Mr. Bean plays like this complete dark asshole of a character, just like completely like a 180 from all the characters he ever plays.
Yeah. Oh, he'll be the competitive candy maker guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be fun. We'll see. Oh, well, actually, going back to horror really quick, that Hellraiser reboot that was coming to Hulu we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
There's some news there. I guess they've already wrapped, which was a surprise to me. I thought this was just in like coming to fruition now, but they've released the cast list, and the big news was Jamie Clayton, actress from Sense8 and the new L Word, is the new Pinhead.
Ooh,
so we are getting a lady Pinhead twist on this, which honestly, for a second, it gave me pause and I was like, you know what? I am all in for this because I would rather them do something bold like that as opposed to have some other middle-aged white dude pretending to do his best, like Doug Bradley impression, because you're not going to get a better male Pinhead than Doug Bradley.
Yeah.
So you might as well just swing for the fences and do something different. So yeah, that I think it might be cool. But I guess they've actually. So the other announcement was that the original creator of Hellraiser, or the novels that it was based on, Clive Barker, has joined as a co-producer on the project. But the announcement also mentioned that they've already wrapped. So I'm not sure what the hell he's producing, except maybe a bigger payout for him to be tied to it. I don't know. Or maybe they're wrapped filming and he's going to help with the post-production. I don't know. But
I had one bit of fallback news. We talked about this a little bit earlier. I was going to bring it up earlier. Critical Role had their teaser for their show, because they actually have a animated show coming out on Amazon next year that tells stories from their first campaign. And they had their title sequence released this week by Amazon Prime. And if the animation is half as good as it is in the title sequence, I'm actually going to be excited for this. It looks really, really good. Essentially, the link, it's the full YouTube clip of it, so you can watch it after we're done.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to catch that after. Cool. It's Critical Role is another internet phenomenon that I've said for years. I mean, I've had multiple friends recommend it to me, and it's just I have to make the time for it at some point.
There is no time. Like,
okay.
It's an absolute fucking time sink.
Okay.
Yeah, like you would enjoy it, but you would never get through it, because the first campaign alone, like the episodes are like 4 to 6 hours long, and there's like 300 episodes in the first campaign, I would say.
See, this is why I never got into D&D. Like, for a brief time, I had some friends like start a campaign. Wait, were you involved with that campaign?
Yes, I was in that campaign.
And yeah, I just can't sit there.
We had to kick you out because we could all tell you were just not into it.
Yeah, I don't have the patience. I do not. I do not. But yeah, I'm happy that D&D makes so many people worldwide very happy. I'm just a different breed of nerd, I guess.
But in this case, this will be a easily digestible version of it for you. You could easily get through an animated show.
Awesome. Yes. Give me the Cliff Notes of D&D. I'm in. There's also that live action D&D movie in the works, not related to Critical Role gang, but there's that happening on a major studio level.
They try that every like 10 years. It always fails.
Yeah. Give me a Double Dragon reboot. Let's do that.
Oh, good Lord.
Ben Affleck, Batfleck, was in an interview recently, chatting about his other new movie, dramatic film, something where he's a bartender.
I thought you were talking about The Last Duel. I'm
Uh,
hyped for that one, by the way.
Oh yeah, Last Duel. That one looked cool. The Tender Bar. That was the other one. I think it's a smaller one being released in limited release, New York and LA. He's doing a lot of little mini dramas now, but he was also recently, of course, reprising Batman, Bruce Wayne in The Flash. And he actually said he absolutely loved it. He had a great time being Batman again, especially after the last go around was not so fun. But no, he said it was really nice to revisit that, in a better way. And he had all the praise for Ezra Miller's performance as Barry Allen. So it's going to be great. But yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. Batfleck, Keaton, and the Flash. And the only other bit I had, last but not least, just because it's so wacky, I had to share it. And I have actually watched these movies, so I'm morbidly curious. Expendables 4 is in production. And ladies and gentlemen, Megan Fox has entered the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, Megan Fox is actually on the Expendables team this go around. She's not doing anything. I honestly don't remember the last thing she did. Film or TV wise. Maybe her run, she had that 1 year on The New Girl, which was a long time ago now. But yeah, that's currently filming in the UK. Sylvester Stallone, Jason Statham, a bunch of the typical cast is back. And but yeah, so far the one newcomer they announced was Megan Fox. And I guess she posted on her Instagram some pop picture of her in her black leather, whatever. I will see it out of the morbid curiosity of seeing it.
To be honest, I'll watch anything Megan Fox is in.
Yeah. If I remember right,
my morbid curiosity of what 80s star they could potentially bring into this.
Yeah.
80s being the age and the decade that they were famous in.
Yeah, well, they're definitely not bringing back Bruce Willis because, as Stallone famously said, he's greedy and lazy. Because that one cameo that they had him in the movie for like a 2-day shoot or something, he wanted like $10 million or some shit.
Everybody that works with him hates him. I don't know.
Really?
Bruce Willis? Yeah, he's a cranky old man.
He was a cranky young man too.
Yeah, apparently. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah, again, because we love Die Hard and stuff. Like we've always enjoyed Bruce Willis, but then you hear how apparently he's just an asshole.
Even in his 30s, he was a crotchety old man.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh well. Let's see. Oh no, wait, there is no. Okay, I'm looking deeper into this article here. 3 new cast members officially confirmed to be joining. Megan Fox, Tony Jaa, which is rad, and Curtis 50 Cent Jackson.
Okay.
All right. Tony Jaa is rad. I'm down with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I only ran through those movies once, the first 3.
That's all you need.
If I remember right, the first one tried to take itself too seriously. It was like meh, but it tried to take itself too seriously and it came off goofy. The second one, if I remember right, they leaned too heavy into the silly. And then the third one was surprisingly pretty decent. I think that's the one where Mel Gibson was the bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Third one was okay.
Yeah. It's like they went one way, they went another way, and then the third time they kind of nailed it. So
yeah, they found the in-between balance.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. And that's all I got, sir.
I got nothing else either.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us for another 2 weeks of insanity.
2 yeets of insanity.
2 yeets. This is how brain fried I am. I'm gonna chill out here, maybe watch something sophisticated like the Muppets Haunted Mansion special, and enjoy my Monday off.
Nice. I'm going to go pass out early tonight and then enjoy my 2 weeks off.
Woo! 2 weeks.
Mm.
Hey. Oh, I guess we can talk about it when you guys come. Never mind.
Okay. You enjoy the hell out of that, sir. You lucky bastard.
I will.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining. This is Tony.
This is Todd.
And Meg.
Go play all the video games, watch all the TV shows, read all the comics, and stay frosty. Bringing it back to the OG. Later, guys.